The belief economy represents an evolving mindset, and so there is no doubt that it will influence the shopping centre of the future.
We really want to connect with the essence of what our communities and what the people in our communities are about.
We're on a mission to help save South Africa one mall at a time, and that's by applying back into the economies around us, into the communities around us.
We make sure that whatever we do is making real impact and touch the lives of people, make sure we look after our economy and play as corporate citizens in sustainability at large.
There's a big drive to understand the various communities and their needs.
If one does understand the notion of belief economy, is that a lot of customers are looking for experience that also appeals to not just retail and buying things.
The future of South African retail is exciting. Consumer needs are changing, and the excitement for us as landlords is to find ways to respond to those changing needs.
Over the last number of years, the South African retail property sector has really shown its mettle by moving with the times in the face of a highly volatile market and a rapidly evolving consumer system. We've distilled the recent years into 4 distinct periods. Firstly, there was the pre-pandemic era. We called this the flow economy. At this time, the market was quickly adaptable, fluid, flexible, and experiential retail formats were in vogue. At this stage, rental growth exceeded trading density growth. We then moved into the pandemic, and we defined this era as the kintsugi economy, viewing this as a period in which broken pieces held value. Here we saw a hybrid concept coming through, and this contained an agile, mixed-use format that was added to retail in the form of storage warehousing and showrooms. At this stage, we saw that both rental and trading density growth rates plunged. We then moved into the post-pandemic period, and we classified this as the Renaissance economy. This was a time of rebirth and innovation and a focus on humanity. At this stage, we saw that both trading density and rental growth rates soared, and that trading densities were actually showing a higher growth rate than rental rates. Currently, we are in a belief economy, where the currency is made up of meaningful values, trusted emotional and human connection, and these elements are highly evident in social impact retail. At present, we see continuing growth across all retail formats, driven by an increasing desire for human medicine in the form of physical, social, and community interaction. Overall, what we've seen in the last few years is that the market has been sturdy under pressure. South Africans often undersell themselves on the global stage. We have world-class and forward-thinking shopping centres, asset management, and retailers in this country. We need to shift our thinking to a position of strength, because when it comes to the world of retail, we have so much to teach the world. The belief economy has evolved as the attention economy fades. Consumers have outgrown the superficial quality and seduction of aggressive, false advertising. Consumers now want something real.
The belief economy is where values, integrity, and social impact connect, so that people truly believe that those around them that can make an impact care for their growth. So we always say that growth is about moving forward one little step every day, and the belief economy is really around creating those little opportunities in whatever we do to make sure consumers start believing, start having hope, and therefore start creating their own positive narrative around tomorrow.
Belief economy, or as far as it relates to the shopping center industry, is where there's shared benefit or shared value between us as the shopping center owners and the communities where we do business.
Moana actually prides itself in meeting with the community, doing research into what's needed, assess what we can help with, and whether it's a project that can go live straight away or if it's something that we need to future-proof and plan for.
I think there's a tie-in in terms of this growth and the belief economy, in a sense that I think there's been a shift in the consumer mindset in terms of value and experience.
I think that the belief economy has been active in our market for a lot longer than the formal cycles suggest. I think because of the spirit of Ubuntu that operates within our market, I think this system of togetherness and shared well-being, the village that raises the child, has been in our market for a lot longer than in some of the other sectors.
To me, it really reminds me of kind of the Zulu greeting that says Sawubona. Directly translated, Sawubona means I see you. And the belief economy and how it translates into our business is exactly that, is we strive to see people, understand where they're from, what they're about, what their belief systems are, and then try and curate that into the experiences that they have in our malls.
In order to fight the fake, we've seen that a new consumer language has actually evolved. And this consumer language is based on meaningful values, sincerity, and trust. In addition to that, this is underpinned by a new consumer currency, and this is a currency that is based on human and emotional connection and community connection. I'm delighted to let you know that the second quarter of 2025 saw the retail market close in an extremely favorable position. Inflation-beating growth was driven by growth in trading densities, growth in rental rates, as well as a stable and low rent-to-sales ratio, indicating controlled market risk. So for the first time in a long time, we're seeing that the landlord side of the market and the retailer side of the market seem to be on more of a level playing field. It seems as though the two sides of the market over the course of the recent years have had to find each other, work together, and support each other into more of a state of balance. In terms of highlights, we see that community and smaller centres really came into their own during COVID, and they've actually remained really strong since. Super regional shopping centres showed the highest growth recovery post-COVID, and they've done so well to hold on to the highest trading density volume levels since 2021. Regional shopping centres have traditionally been stuck in the middle of the pack, but now we see that they're making a phenomenal growth play. If we consider a long-term trend that's evident in the market, it seems as though consumers are preferring either the very large centres or the very small centres. And if you think about it, this may boil down to a case of identity. It seems easier to have a clear identity if one is very large or very small. If we think about super regional shopping centres, they have a natural identity and gravitas caused by destination shopping and entertainment factors. And if we think about very small centres, they have a natural appeal through intimacy and convenience factors.
Our property portfolio is really the pride and joy of our environmental story. We have focused on that for a very long time in creating a very, very specific strategy to drive the net zero initiatives in our portfolio. And in 2023, it was the first portfolio of its kind, the retail portfolio, that got the accreditation as a Green Star portfolio for the entire portfolio.
The categories that are growing in our shopping centres are the tenants that focus on essential goods and services. That's a result of the tough economic conditions. So people are focusing on things that they really require your grocer tenants, your pharmaceutical tenants, fast food and value fashion are performing well.
So the categories that have done exceptionally well for Vukile have been the grocery category, pharmaceuticals, and then I would also say, things like health and beauty. The apparel brands are ones that we've seen, do exceptionally well in our part of the market. Athleisure, and that's done well for a prolonged period of time in our portfolio.
The categories we see growing is essentials, fast food, luxury and health and beauty. One trend that we are seeing in our township malls is that the public services sector is starting to take up more space.
The merchandise categories that are growing are food service, and those would be mostly accessible as opposed to fine dining. And we've also seen growth in mid to low end fashion. We're also seeing affordable home categories that have been growing and taking up a lot of space.
In terms of the merchandise categories that are doing well, obviously grocers always do well. Surprisingly, things like fast food have grown double digits over the past year, still growing very strongly. Health and beauty growing very strongly. Fashion, everything's been growing above inflation for as long as I can remember.
We are really passionate about our consumer and almost obsessed with the things that are making life better for them.
We are in the midst of a wellness revolution. In fact, wellness has moved beyond a trend. It is now a movement.
ESG for us no longer sits as something on the side. It's integrated in our business, it's integrated in our thinking, and sustainability thinking forms part of the way we do business. We drive that through a positive impact agenda and making sure that we maximize the impact of all the initiatives that we take.
One of the things that we've seen, for example, something like paddle courts. I mean, just in South Africa, I think they just increased exponentially because people are, value lifestyle, healthcare, their own experience, and so we'll continue to see things like that continue to grow.
So we've seen a huge increase in not only in the spend in health and beauty in that category across our portfolio, but also the interest in the communities in health and beauty and in health in particular. There's so much aerobics, outdoor yoga, football, netball competitions that's running at the moment. So we're seeing a resurgence kind of in the wellness and interest in the wellness of the individual as well as the wellness of the community at large.
Every one of our shopping centers has a gym, except for Mimosa because it's quite small. And we have also invested quite a lot in children, free play, which has really had a huge impact, positive impact on our portfolio.
We focus mainly on health and wellness, fun runs, walks, and other exercise activities at the centers.
One that a lot of people speak about is athleisure. And I've always wondered, is it an issue of people being aspirational and trying to invest in brands? Or is it an identification, affinity purchase? When you look at a lot of these athleisure brands, they speak to a history and a legacy around sports teams.
We also take the form of creating recreational areas in the areas where we develop shopping centers. For instance, all the play areas that we build, in our areas, there are often very few facilities around our communities.
During COVID, we developed Indwe Park. It's an urban park that was done on a parking lot next to the Liberty head office in Braamfontein. So that park has really now become an asset in the Braamfontein district where people come for walking tours. Our staff at the office go and walk in the park during the day. They have walking meetings. And really it is to showcase how important urban spaces are in the work that we do for the students in the node and just for the greater environment.
Looking at the trends, it seems clear to me that the shopping centre of the future will increasingly be a supportive and intuitive community hub. This will be sensitive to themes such as the growing loneliness pandemic, as well as the fact that there's a rise in single-person dwellings.
We really believe that we don't want to be seen as an island of success, generally in a context and environment that is highly impoverished. We really want to be seen as part of those communities, and that translates in how we show up, how we listen, how we collect data, how we try and understand, and how we show that we humble in delivering our product.
We find particularly our township malls function as the village square of old, because there's a paucity of things to do, of activities in the townships. It's the nexus of the community where people can come and interact with friends, with family, and actually literally just see and be seen.
The other initiative that we are very excited about is the Nova app that we picked up these two guys from Limpopo. They started with 700 Rand. And they learned how to code themselves, and they had an old computer, no electricity, no furniture to sit on, and they built this app for children to have education delivered in their hands on a cell phone. And they've had over 50,000 Rand downloads already, and we are now supporting them to build that app out so that they can reach every child that cannot get to education physically. It's really mind-blowing. It's changing the world of education, and it's such a wonderful story to be part of.
What we will continue to invest in is things like action sports, children free play, parks on our real estate, especially where we've got a lot of space. And then we will also continue to provide opportunities for especially even low-end type of consumers to be able to come into a shopping center.
Our shopping centers are economic catalysts in our communities. So we are quite big or major employers where we do business. For every 30 squares of gross lettable area that one builds, one job is created. That's a rule of thumb that we've got in the industry. So if you've got a shopping center that is 20,000 squares in size, you may create around 600 jobs.
So Mwana's view of community incentives in our shopping centres is to have a percentage of the community operating the various shops.
Our community is at the heart of everything that we do at Exemplar. We look to build the communities as much as we look to build real estate in those communities. And so we've donated approximately 32 million into the communities, mostly focused on short courses education. So we've done over 250,000 short courses that we've sponsored. We donate about between 5 and 6 million Rand a year on educational bursaries for communities in need. To really, we believe the education is the cornerstone of everything.
The community initiatives that we undertake are aligned perfectly to our positive impact strategy, where the things that we do so that they make a positive impact that can make a real difference. We link that into giving people skills, and therefore we focus on education. We link that into the financial literacy and financial fitness initiatives so people can themselves be more empowered to live a better life.
One of the key business priorities at Vukile is we really strive to be customer-centric. We really believe that we firstly need to understand what communities are about and what communities would want. We've organized ourselves to listen and hear what matters to people most. So where we really play a hand in our communities is, in CSI initiatives, in areas where they need support.
We sponsor a lot of community initiatives, so largely focusing on children and education, and also enterprise development, supporting young entrepreneurs. So one of the things that we're doing, we've started a fund to introduce young brands, that some of them have continued to become quite a big success.
So our approach to community initiatives, firstly, we focus on skills development. Currently, we've got over 40 students that are on our bursary program. We also have 20 graduate interns that are working in various parts of our business. Secondly, we work with various organizations. One of them is Food and Trees for Africa. What we do with this organization is that we help communities and schools to build community gardens, thereby transforming skills to them in agriculture, but also helping with immediate nutritional needs.
We will assess, how much of stores we'll have available to bring in the community, and to assess how much of those spaces we can make up into smaller pockets for them, or if there's opportunity for a strong enough local operator to come in and become a tenant.
Our approach really has been that we're a big corporate citizen, and we make a lot of money from the communities in which we do business. And so part of our ethic as a big corporate citizen is not merely to do things just for profit, but it's also to make sure that we do give back, because we can't do well as companies that do business in communities if those communities are not thriving.
Something that I'm really passionate about is investing in people, and that as the leadership of an organization, of a country, our biggest success is in making other people successful.
As we move into the future, shopping centre design will evolve considerably. And what we will see is that design will become more meaningful, more sophisticated, more beautiful, and more artistic. Key to this evolution, we need to rethink our view on anchor tenants. I think we're going to see a shift away from a pure anchor tenant in a traditional form and a move towards an anchor mix. In other words, a strategic blend that attracts.
Each of Moana's shopping centre needs to have its own identity, and the focus is for it to be quite a unique tenant mix.
If you don't cater for family and for a full experience, I think you're going to get caught short.
Our shoppers are telling us that these are the type of tenants that they want to see in our malls. That's why these tenants are performing.
We believe a lot in data and using data to help us understand our consumers and our communities better.
So whilst technology will no doubt enhance efficiencies, the omni-channel nature, as well as the novelty value of shopping centres, it is my sincere hope that what technology does for shopping centres is that it allows humans to in fact be more human, and for there to be much more focus on the realities of the human condition.
So in preparing for the 2030 net zero target that we set for the property business, we have focused on creating alternative forms of energy and have implemented a number of solar plants on the roofs of our shopping centres. The most notable example is the one on the Eastgate rooftop, which is the biggest rooftop solar on a shopping centre in South Africa.
Shopping centres are an important catalyst for development in the areas where we operate. It's important that shopping center owners start to think about rejuvenating the areas around their shopping centers. You can start small with a litter campaign, but that will have an impact on your community.
There's such an incredible energy in the townships. It's such a gratifying place to go once you look below the grime, below the surface, to see this resilience that exists, this hope and this belief that there is a brighter future ahead.
The shopping centre of the future will show increased sensitivity to key consumer influences of the times.
You know, when you look at things like athleisure, for instance, and you see the strong performance in that category, it speaks a lot to, you know, being seen, being an individual, not being homogenous. And for instance, in areas like Soweto, where we've got malls, you'll find that you know, your Kaizer Chiefs and your Orlando Pirates and some of those brands do phenomenally well.
In the shopping centre of the future, I believe that the lipstick effect will entrench. These are purchases of small, uplifting luxuries to soothe you during hard times.
Previously, retailers could introduce a concept and then customers would follow. But we're seeing a reverse in that customers are looking for what they're looking for, and us as property owners and retailers have to respond.
Aesthetics and presentation will be increasingly important to the shopping centre of the future. Specifically, Instagrammable features and a focus on nostalgia.
One of the other things that have been really important for us was to reduce what we send to landfill. And we worked really hard on a strategy to reduce the waste in our environments and have received a certificate of our entire portfolio being net zero waste ready. Imagine the waste that comes out of a shopping mall from our restaurants, from the customers, from all the shops that we have. All those get composted on site, and we send very, very little of that to landfill.
Trendy lifestyle formats need to embrace the current consumer La Dolce Vita attitude to life.
An interesting one for me has been accessories. And accessories again speak to this context of me showing who I am, what I'm about, where I'm from.
Increasingly exciting entertainment options need to compete with the Netflix and chill culture that has taken over the world.
We give people kind of almost an escapism, an opportunity to get away from where they're living and into an open space with entertainment, with all the amenities.
In the shopping centre of the future, we are going to see that service levels will elevate dramatically, and there's going to be much more focus on the importance of personal touch.
You know, it makes one proud. I think at the end of the day, you feel you're part of the community. The community is also feeling quite a bit a part of the shopping centre. It feels like a family experience.
I feel that the shopping centre of the future will have a much stronger empathy theme. I think there's going to be much more recognition of the fact that hard times and hard headspaces need to be met with soft times and soft spaces. This will reflect in a focus on happiness, dopamine, and uplifting spaces, as well as the theme of dignity. And this will occur in respect of not only people, but also the planet, animals, and technology. As we move forward into the future, and as the belief economy evolves, it is critical to remember that ultimately your brand must be trusted and your brand must have meaning.